If God exists, why do innocent people suffer? Why believe in something you can't see? If all religions come from God, why are they different? Questions like these have made believers hesitate, doubt, even lose faith. They sound rational, scientific, unanswerable. But what if the truth is not that simple? What if the depth of these questions only reveals how little we truly understand the design behind existence? Atheism is not just disbelief. It's statement that the universe has no author, no intention, no moral center. But if the world truly came from nothing, if meaning itself is an illusion, then even our questions lose their purpose. And that's the paradox. To question God, one must already believe in truth, in logic, in reason, things that only make sense if there is order behind creation. Today, we explore the questions that make believers fall silent, and the answers that echo through eternity. But before we begin, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, kindly do so. And now let's begin. Question 1. Why is there suffering in the world if God exists? Suffering is not a flaw in creation. It is part of its design. Without pain, there is no compassion. Without loss, there is no love. Without injustice, there can be no concept of justice. We live in a world built on contrast. Light only matters because there is darkness. Pleasure is felt only because we know pain. Life has meaning because death reminds us it's temporary. If God were to remove suffering, he would have to remove freedom, because most suffering arises from human choices. War, greed, betrayal, corruption. These are not God's actions. They are ours. But there is another kind of suffering, the kind that purifies the soul. Every prophet, every righteous person endured pain not as punishment, but as preparation. Tests refine faith the way fire refines gold. In moments of pain, a believer asks not why me, but what am I meant to learn from this? Because even when God seems silent, he is sculpting you, just as the seed breaks before it grows, and metal is melted before it's shaped. Suffering is the divine process through which souls evolve. So, the existence of pain doesn't deny God. It reveals him. It shows a creator who loves us enough to let us grow, to stumble, to learn, and to return stronger than before. Question 2. How can you believe in something without empirical evidence? This question assumes that truth must always be seen, touched, or measured. But most of the things that define human life are invisible. You can't see time, yet it rules your entire existence. You can't measure love, yet it builds families and shapes destinies. You can't see consciousness, but without it, there would be no science, no logic, no question to ask. Our perception is tragically limited. Science itself admits this. Human eyes see less than 1% of the electromagnetic spectrum. Our ears hear a fraction of sound frequencies. Our minds process only what fits into 5 senses. But the universe holds more dimensions than we can comprehend. Belief in God is not blindness. It's acknowledging that reality extends beyond the narrow window of human perception. The universe is a symphony of precision. Planets orbit with perfect balance. DNA carries a language of 3 billion coded instructions. Order does not arise from chaos by accident. No painting paints itself. No book writes itself. Every system we've ever known, from a watch to a computer, needs a designer. So how can we look at the cosmos infinitely more complex and assume it designed itself? Faith, then, is not anti-science, it's beyond science. It begins where human measurement ends. To deny God because we can't see him is like denying air because it's invisible, while breathing it every second. Question 3. Why do different religions exist if they're all true? This question assumes that diversity means contradiction. But in truth, diversity often points back to a single origin. Humanity was not created divided. It became divided. From the first messenger, Adam, peace be upon him, there was one message. There is one creator, Worship him alone, live with justice and mercy. But over centuries, human desires corrupted what was divine. Scriptures were altered. Power replaced piety. Rulers shaped religion to control, not to guide. And so the same truth fractured into many forms. Imagine pure water flowing from a mountain. The further it travels, the more it mixes with the earth and takes different colors. But if you trace every river back, it leads to one source. In the same way, every divine message in its pure form came from one God. Different languages, prophets, and nations didn't mean different truths. They meant tailored guidance for different people. The existence of many religions doesn't disprove God. It proves his mercy. It shows that he reached out to every nation, in every era, in every tongue. The tragedy isn't that religions differ. It's that humans stopped seeking the source behind them. Atheist questions are not enemies of faith. They are invitations to think deeper. Faith that fears questions is weak. True faith welcomes them, because truth never hides from inquiry. Belief in God isn't a rejection of reason. It's the fulfillment of it. Reason tells us everything designed must have a designer. Consciousness tells us morality can't come from dust. The heart tells us love can't exist without a source of love itself. So when an atheist says there's no God, perhaps the question we should ask is, then why does everything, from the atom to the galaxy, act as if there is? If this message resonated with you, if it stirred even a thought, don't let it fade. Reflect, question, seek. Because truth is not found by seeing. It's found by awakening. If you learned something today, hit that like button. See you in the next video.